get our sound and stuff sorted here. Oh, we need music.
It's fine.
I really need to get this switch fixed. We have sound? That sound is good. Are we ready? We can, oops. It's on that, it's on this. We can squish the name. Oh, hey, the thing came over here. Is the bot going? Why is the bot not going?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, there goes the bot. Okay. I was beginning to feel like he wasn't going to be with us today. All right. I'm ready. You ready? Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we are getting towards the end of this actual pillow project. It's amazing. It's been a long road so far. You can see I'm almost over here to the edge, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff kind of going on with that. But hang on, before we go too far, I'm going to try to get the music started before it gets too far in, because I tend to forget that thing. And, oh, we still have, wait. It always depends on when I last clicked. So there we go. Secret word game is still in effect. So yeah. If you happen to say the right magic word, you get to win the 2 bracelets. One was made by me and the other was by Minutecraft or Minutecraft. I don't know why. I just like the idea that it's Minutecraft better. I just do. Because, you know, well, how long did it take you? A hot minute, right? So something like that. So yeah, just chat. It's typically things based on me. So if you've been watching my videos and you've gotten to know a little bit about me, my channel, my webpage over there, it's akaawol.com. So akaawol.com, right? You can go check out. There's portfolio, there's a shop, there's all kinds of stuff. There's even tutorials and stuff. And say hello, Mandy. Mandy's with us again today. And let's not put her on the spot. Whoops, I hit something weird there. Okay. So yeah, lots going on. So anyways, I'm kind of normally, you can see over on this side over here, right? I've been doing the whole do 2 of the sets of diamonds in each row, because it's just a little bit faster or whatever. But right now I've been making a dash, trying to make it all the way over here to the left side's edge, and there's a reason for it. The board that this is all sitting on is the one with the hole behind it, and the only reason you can't see the hole is because I've actually come down as far as I have, right? But here you can sort of see off to the side. See these strings? These are the ones that were replaced, and I want to get those all trimmed and cut. But here's the thing, and this is like, I've been working on these projects to try to find like the best advice I can give you in order to make these videos, you know, more helpful, or, you know, like basically me make my mistakes or find ways of avoiding mistakes so that way you guys don't have the problems. And essentially what it comes down to is I want there to be enough space between where all the strings got added, so that way these strings here, the ones I'm actually tying knots and using, don't accidentally get cut when I go to trim off the back of it, right? Because right now I can't easily trim the back because they're all really, really close up to the working strings, right? And then by giving it like this extra space or whatever, I'll be able to flip this thing around and I'll be able to trim all that back off there. So that's really kind of cool. And yeah, because really if it comes down to this, if you accidentally cut one of these too close to this, you'll have to actually take out quite a number of knots in order to have a long enough piece of string to be able to work with, to be able to replace it. and nobody wants that. And so the best way to avoid it is to not try to cut the strings right away, because that's how you're going to make a mistake. That's the easiest way. And the reason we can't just switch to the board without the holes is there would be an extra, what is it, 288 strings hanging down just to confuse me from which ones I need to pick up and actually tie knots with. So it really comes down to trying to make things as convenient for yourself as possible. And yeah, I mean, and that's the whole reason, like with the clipboards and all the different things that I do, it's about trying to make it easier. Am I saying that I've got it perfected to the point that there's no possible way of making it easier? No, not really. I'll probably come up with more tips and stuff further on down the line. There'll be new ideas and new ways of doing stuff, I'm sure. But for right now, this is the stuff that I've got that's actually getting the project to move along rather quickly. So yeah, I'm kind of digging that. So Queen Bee Crafts, hello, welcome. I wonder where the rest of the whole gang is. Well, it's okay. Maybe everybody shows up a little bit late or gets to watch this at another time. That's all right too. Anyways, so yeah, I'm really trying to show you guys that a bigger project doesn't have to be insane. It doesn't have, this pattern here is probably one of the easiest patterns, and it doesn't take a whole lot of forethought or anything else. I don't have to look at a pattern to see where I'm at, which is great, especially when you're doing something this big, is you kind of want to have it to just be easy, just carefree or whatever. Throw on a video and go with it without the worry that you're going to make mistakes. Was recently talking to somebody who was interested in doing bracelets that were in a fade and wanting to know how they could mark their strings accordingly. And my advice to them basically comes down to the same as what I'm doing with this. This has a fade. A lot of the colors are really, really close to each other. However, because I know the pattern, because I know that, what cues I have to look for to make sure that I'm doing everything without, any mistakes, is what makes it easier. Like, yeah, a couple of these oranges are almost identical. However, if I know that there's supposed to be 4 light ones past the dark, that's easy, I can see that without, trying to put it under a microscope or whatever. I don't know how else you would pick the colors, but yeah, it just comes down to knowing the pattern well enough. And if you're doing big things or you're doing things with colors that tend to be difficult to work with, try the pattern once with, a rainbow, right? Let's say you're going to do a fade with 6 colors. That's perfect. A rainbow is also 6 colors, and all the colors are completely different. Try that a couple times, get used to how the pattern goes, and then you'll almost, once you have that pattern down pat, when you go to the grayscale or a fade of whatever, it's going to be so easy. You're just going to see the pattern. You're not even going to, the colors won't matter. You'll move right past it. Unless, of course, you're doing something so advanced that even doing it a couple of times is too difficult. Like, some kind of pattern that you've only gotten off the internet that is complicated or whatever. Then, again, still, I guess if you get to know the pattern well enough, you can do it effortlessly with a rainbow or, mix of colors, then doing the fade will be a little bit easier at least. So yeah. Let me move my microphone because I'm getting really close to that edge over here. So yeah. Ooh, I should hit that button. So this week is the week before I go out away for a little bit. First holiday in a couple of years. So there won't be any live stream next Saturday. And then, so you'll have to wait a whole extra week there. But I'll be back to the Saturday after that. I should have wrote down the dates because that would have been smart. And I'm looking around, I don't see any calendars. So yeah, I'll be back not next Saturday, the Saturday after. The what? Can you just confirm before I...
Yeah.
30th? Okay, wife says I'll be back on the 30th. So yeah, kind of excited about that. Kind of also kind of nervous. This whole project is really coming close to being at the end, and I need to time it in such a way that I can get the string together that's going to be the next bigger project. So yeah. Oh, and there is leftover string from this. Like, so obviously we're getting to where I'm going to cut off all the string. That means all the string needed for this project has been added. And that left enough to be able to do 2 small bracelets, like 2 12s. Yeah, it's okay. So it's 6 colors, 12 strings hanging down. They're doubled up, whatever. However you want to count that. I guess it's 12 strings. So yeah. Queen Bee, you might actually be the only one right now. I'm wondering if everybody thought that this was the week that I was taking off, which is possible if everybody kind of got their calendars wrong, because I was talking about it last week. But yeah, it is what it is. But you'd be surprised, actually. I get a lot more people actually watch these videos like the following day or within the following week. And I think that comes down to the fact that time zones are really weird, and it's like super early morning in America. So I kind of don't blame them, but I really can't change up the times at which I do it. Like, everything has to kind of settle down in the house before I can, you know, sit down and do this. But yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, I don't know how long much longer exactly it's going to take me to do this. I do know that I was taking measurements from down in this area over here, and figured out that I only need about this much space just to hit the 18-inch mark, which is how long. It's 18 inches wide. It needs to be at least 18 inches long, right? So I basically need, this is like the darkest, and then you can see up here where the lightest is. I have to make one more band about that long, and then maybe just a little bit past it, just so that way there's plenty of room for it to be sewn down and stuff. So yeah, it's yeah, technically it just doesn't feel like there's that much more to go. And yes, the strings are a little bit long at the moment because they've all been just changed out, but you'd be really surprised at like how quickly that changes and how quickly it just gets a lot more comfortable and becomes like, just goes faster, I guess. So yeah, really cool. Yeah, so we basically start at 10 p.m. on our Saturday night here, and it's enough time to basically get my father-in-law off to bed. He has Alzheimer's, so he's a little bit difficult, shall we say. It's true with any form of dementia, but yeah, he has some trouble getting to sleep, and you know, and obviously there's a bunch of noise going on when I'm doing the live stream, and in case I'm needed for anything, I like to be able to get up and go. But by like this time of the evening, he's typically asleep or on his way to being asleep. Oh, so you're East Coast. I used to live on the East Coast. Not exactly East Coast. They considered it Midwest, but you know, close. So yeah, there's a 12-hour time difference between Singapore and the is it Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time? I guess it's, I don't know. I never could figure out which one was the right one, but yeah, in the summertime there's a 12-hour difference between us. And then I don't know if that, it sounded to me like America was going to vote that system out, so I don't know if they did or not, but yeah, I don't know how that all works. It'll be weird. But yeah, in the winter it used to be like a 13-hour difference. And again, I don't know which direction that actually goes, so the whole thing, time zones are just weird. Oh yeah. Eastern Standard, okay. So yeah, so Canadian. Yeah, I used to be able to see the Windsor from across the waterway there. Actually, Canada is the best side to be for going to Niagara, so there you go. I think I've been to Niagara Falls like 5 or 6 times in my life, and yeah, the Canadian side is the side to go on. The New York side is cool because you can get like really close to like the thundery bit, but the view is from Canada's for sure. So if you see me kind of looking over here, like what I'm looking at is where the chat shows up on my screen. So yeah. Yeah, so there is some attraction to it. There's like a whole park thing, and you get to go kind of wander around like the little island that is sort of in between the two sets of falls, and you can be right up close to part of the horseshoe thing that's really just thunders and thunders. Interesting Chaos, hello. So yeah, no, the American side is sort of neat. Ended up going there and at night once just to check it out, and that was sort of terrible. You can't really see much, and it's just the thunder of it. It feels like it just vibrates everything. That the flow of the water just seems so intense. But yeah, no. So yeah, so when it comes time to actually flipping this thing around, and I do plan on actually doing that here this evening, especially seeing as how this row is coming to its end. One of the interesting things is the fact that it will be difficult. They're like, to get all that string to slide out. It's yeah. You'll see. Plus, I also have to kind of concern myself with the fact that I have a camera that's sort of about 8-9 inches away from it. So when I turn it around and stuff, I have to be cautious how I move things about. But yeah. So yeah, the next project after this is going to be so different. So this one, all the colors get used up equally, right? Because it's no one color stays as the most dominant one throughout the whole thing. The next one is interesting because it's one color is going to be the most dominant thing in the whole, all of it. And like, so these little pieces here, like, well, if you look here at the darkest one, right? It's going to be like dark to light. So it's kind of a different sequence of what this is, right? This is light to dark. The other one is dark to light, and they all stay the same all the way through the whole thing. So I can't even use like this as a guide to tell me like how many diamonds there are, because the one diamond, it stays being so dominant that you are actually losing that one extra set knot each time. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Now what the bonus is going to be is that that string that I use the most, it's going to be the first to get changed up, right? And then, you know, a little further down, I'll see the next most used string having to get changed up. And this will slowly kind of go through the whole thing to where I don't have to worry about it all at once. Now, I don't know if you saw last week's video, but last week I was changing up string, like 3 different strings all at once. Oh, and I don't know if you saw Monday's video where I changed out the other 3 strings. But yeah, it's a lot of work to have to change all your string at once. So I am kind of looking forward to this other one. And that's not to say that things can't come up time-wise where suddenly I have to do 2 at the same time or whatever. But yeah, it's just going to be a whole lot easier than what this was. And I kind of knew that this was going to be something like that going into it. You know, this wasn't exactly a shocker for me, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of a knowing how these patterns work and knowing kind of what you're up against beforehand really helps in having the right frame of mind, because I could see why so many people like start a project and then don't want to finish it, because projects are hard. It takes time, it takes commitment. But you know, because I'm plowing through this, I'm ending up with something that's amazing. And wait till I shift this thing out of its clips, because there's probably 12 inches or more above the point. Like, see, you can only see up to here. There's at least good 12 inches more above that. And all in, it just looks gorgeous. It really, really looks cool. So yeah. Now, as far as like turning this thing into a pillow, we have a friend who's a seamstress who's going to actually sew some denim onto the back of it and give it a zipper. So yeah, I won't be actually doing that, so I won't be able to actually film it or anything. But after it's all done or whatever, I'll make a little video to show you like how it turned out. So yeah, yeah, I kind of wish I had a sewing machine so that way I could kind of do it myself and show you guys how it's done. But at the same time, when it comes to actually setting a zipper and everything else, it's like I'd much rather give her, you know, $5-10 and have it done for me. It'll just be that so much easier. So yeah. And her work is really, really good. Like, I've had her help fix some of my clothes, and my wife has her do all kinds of stuff for her as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So is Queen Bee still there? It was just thinking about the things like I know. Did you know like the Niagara Falls, the generator that they actually divert some of the water, like there would be more water, but they divert some of it, and that generator that generates electricity for the area was actually something that Tesla had his hands on, the design or whatever of it. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah. Boy, that's like I do the same thing. I was just watching the slow-mo guys and yeah. I just throw on videos and tie knots. I've actually considered doing like more live, like when I am just doing it. But then it's kind of sporadic and kind of possibly difficult to predict when I can actually do the stuff. So yeah. And yes, I am also glad that you picked us. That's awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if one day I could take my wife to go see the falls. It'd have to be summertime though. I know the falls are beautiful in the winter, but yeah, icy roads and stuff, not cool. Maybe autumn. That would be fun. Go there while the leaves are in colors. You ever gone down in the tunnels? I think that's one of the cool attractions on the Canadian side is wandering around through the tunnels. All right. The last time I went to Niagara Falls, I ended up getting a great seat at the little restaurant that's just across the street from the falls. And because it's like a couple stories above the falls, I was able, our seat was right by the window and you could just watch the water going over the edge and see the mist being shot up in the air. And yeah, that was probably like my whole favorite thing, was just sitting there enjoying a meal while watching the water from above. I think it was pretty cool. There's like a lot of other cool stuff there, like the Ripley's Believe It or Not. I always wanted to do like all that stuff. My family, for whatever reason, just like, nope. So yeah, so next week I will be making bracelets on a beach. So that's going to be a fun thing. That has to be something newer since I've been there. Mind you, see, I've been in Singapore for the last 11 years, 12 years, 12 years. So yeah. And then it was quite a while since I went to the falls, even back when I was still in Michigan. So yeah. Okay, here comes a test of humor. So I'm going to throw on the Mandy cam over here. Yeah. So obviously, you know, if you've been to Niagara Falls so often, you know what the city is called on the other side of the falls, right? I always thought that the greatest, coolest thing they could do is to have a casino dealer competition over there, right? So to see who's like the best dealer there is, and they could call it the Shuffle Off in Buffalo. See, this is why we have Mandy Cam. Anyway. So here we go. We are to the end of the row. I got to get out the other board. I'm really looking forward to putting away the one with the hole in it. And I got a pair of scissors handy. I'm going to have to shift the camera a bit. Like, I'm not even quite done with the knots, but I'm already anticipating like all the stuff I have to do to make this happen. Yeah, it is really quiet. I unfortunately left the music player sitting on top of the analytics that would tell me how many people are watching. So I actually have no idea at the moment. All right, so I got the board. Let's shift this back. And start pulling clips. And mind you, there is just a ton of string all over the place here. So, and you can see it just flows, right? And now, boop, booped the camera unintentionally. And see, this is where all this string can be in a bunch, because Lord knows when I pull it to the back, I'm not trying to organize it at all. So there we go. All right. So this is the back side. So you can see up here, this is where I already cut out the first time I swapped out all of the colors. I put this up high enough so I can put a clip to hold it in place. Wait for a moment. And let's focus in down here. So normally I'd start at one of the sides, but I think with the camera, well, maybe we can start at the side. start over at this side. So you can see all of this is what has been replaced. And this is the gap that I gave myself to make it easier so I don't accidentally cut the wrong string. So let's start right about here. Now this part here is going to be all on the inside of the pillow, so it doesn't have to be exactly cut down to anything. Like I don't have to like worry about getting it completely flat or whatever. And because there's like 4 or 5 knots that go over top of all of the strings here, I don't have to worry that I'm cutting it so short that it's going to come undone in the wash, right? So basically this thing is machine washable. You should do the chat thing, the 8-ball thing. But you can see with a good pair of scissors, this is really kind of quick. There we go. First bit done. Hey, Helena's made it. Hello. Now let's get Mandy over here. Yeah, it must be something special about Canada today, because our other friend we're chatting with here is also from Canada. That's fun. So yeah, I just got to the point where I could finally trim off some of these strings. So it kind of caught us at a fun junction in the progress. So yeah, like I was saying, I did these extra rows down here in order to make sure that I wasn't accidentally cutting the wrong strings. So. And now. Minute Craft made it. Hello. There we go. Another big chunk out. Now let's shift the whole thing down. There we go. And these are the ones that are left. I think what Mandy's trying to say is that we remembered and didn't have to be told this time. Yeah, there's nothing like having a good pair of scissors. Like these ones here, um, yeah, they've barely been used. They still have that shiny, um, what do they call that when you put the little layer on top? It's not, it's, I guess it's plating. It's not gold, but whatever plating that they use. Um, I have another small pair of scissors, a little bit bulkier than this, that whatever shiny surface or whatever is completely gone. So yeah, this one is like so seldomly used that it's still got that whole shininess to it. I'm not sure if it says something or if that's just. I think it does. I think it says here. I think it says something in Chinese.
We don't handle.
Yeah.
And this,
Dragon Phoenix. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so board with hole in it can finally go away. And board without a hole in it comes into play now. There's so much of this done. It's so incredible. I just need to put some clips on it. Wow, how did I manage in such a short amount of time to lose two clips? That's sweet. They're there. It's like I barely did anything and suddenly everything's missing. Alright, camera's tilted. So there's the clip that's holding things in place. You can see my cable from my microphone, unfortunately, but that's alright. Not the end of the world. Yeah, my scissors, my good ones came from a store kind of between where, if you know where the Tactile Mall is, and then you start heading over towards like the whole Haji Lane and over that way, there's like a little fabric store on that stretch. And yeah, great scissors. Absolutely love that place. You pass me my water? Great. I didn't fill up my water bottle before I started, so. Yeah, I've seen some of your projects there, Helena, and absolutely amazing. Those chairs, that looks like, that's just brilliant. And if you sit still for long enough, you end up like, you know, like with this shirt off kind of thing, you could end up with like a really cool print on your back. They weren't expensive. They're not terrible. My scissors were not expensive. Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to say how much because I've had them for a number of years now. Yeah, like Mandy said, less than 10. So I think you guys may have missed out earlier conversation about the fact that now that all the string is added, I am definitely in the home stretch. This is the squares I'm working on now is the darkest of it, right? The darkest color, making the outer part of the square. I basically have to go through the whole set from the lightest to the darkest one more time, and then maybe add a row or so after that, just as make sure there's enough room for the stitching and stuff. So we're really into the home stretch now, for which I'm really excited. Yeah, well, it really is an easy pattern. So yeah, it has gone rather quickly. It's an easy pattern and it's only 18 inches wide, which is like 24 bracelets wide. I say only because the last project was ginormous. But yeah. Queen Bee, it is always summer in Singapore. It's either summer or it's pouring rain. Our average humidity all year long is like 70%, and our temps are typically associated with like what you would have in July. So yeah, like 32 to 34, sometimes just a little warmer. No, we're not 3 degrees. We're 1.4 degrees. This house is 1.4 degrees. When I just was doing the map update, so that way we're going on a vacation, so I wanted to make sure I had like the Google's maps for offline or whatever. And for some odd reason, like I tagged our house, and it's like 1.4 degrees off the equator. There's a whole huge amount more decimal points to go with that, but yeah, 1.4. Yeah, 27 is like at night. Then the daytime it's 34. Right. Yeah, we're really, really close to the equator. It's funny because, again, having grown up in Michigan, um, I'm used to like there being huge time difference between the summer and winter. You know, there's just the amount of daylight, whatever, it just changes so much. Here, it's really so close. Like we're above the equator by a little bit, but it's less than a half hour between the longest day and the shortest day. So my new crap, kind of reminds me of an early story in Mandy and my relationship. When I first came to Singapore, I stayed in an area they call Lavender, which is kind of a long ways away from Yishun. And I came home with Mandy one night just to give her a kiss goodbye and whatever. Went back, and by the time I was heading back home, the train services were all coming to an end, and I didn't make it back in time. And it happened to be one of those nights where it's at least, 29, 30 degrees, super humid. Yeah, like this time of year. Super, super hot out. I barely had any money with me. My phone battery was dying, and it was like it wasn't even like a smartphone, so like I wouldn't have been able to even use Google Maps. I did have a regular map, but that doesn't really often tell the whole story. Like I got on one side of a freeway and couldn't find my way across over to the other side. But yeah, it took me hours and hours to get home, and then get my phone onto a charge to be able to say I made it home safely. So yeah, that was brutal. That was a rough night. Especially since back then I really didn't know the island very well.
Okay, Korean and Asian.
I don't think it was Bishan. I'll have to. So by not next Saturday, obviously that's the one I'm off, but the Saturday after, I'll try to figure out what train stop I got dropped at. I want to say, because they told me to get off of one line and get on the other line, and then so I think I was on the Circle line when I got dropped off. Right. So I got dropped off. It's a big major street that has like a couple of train stops on it. Kind of where, do you remember we went to somebody's birthday party or something where there was a pool and the barbecue and stuff? It was along that stretch.
So faster than the mid.
I'm not sure. No, I didn't make it nearly that far. I was still sorta to the north and trying to make my way down. I was on it got off on the Circle line. But again, like the train service, the north-south was ending. I asked somebody, they told me to take the Circle line, I think from Bishan, and I think I may have only gotten a few stops away. And yeah, it was pretty rough. I remember that there's like these really cool antique-ish looking entrances to the train line where I was walking past them, and then there was like a historical plaque on a tree. So yeah, I'm not sure I can find that again. Is Singapore is sustainable? I think it is. I think Singapore is amazing for an island that's basically twice the size of Detroit. The fact that it's got so much like buses and trains and everything else to make it possible for people to get around. Yeah, it's a remarkable place. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, basically, I haven't had a car in the 12 years I've been here. You know, I'm so used to driving. Like that was like the thing, or back in the day. But yeah, no need here. Mind you, I can get on a bicycle and pretty much go to any part of the island I want to on my own. But that's more about me being in good shape than to say that the island is small, because I don't I don't think everybody could do it. Oh, if you yeah, to get from here to say Pongal, which is just about 11 kilometers if I'm on a bicycle. If I tried to do that via trains or buses, yeah, it'd take a whole lot longer, but yeah. Yeah, I gotta say that for as few times as we need to get somewhere and we don't want to have to go by train because it would take so long, that the cost of actually hiring a car like Uber to get there is far cheaper than having to deal with the whole um, what's the right to own a car thing, the TOD. Yeah, and the cost of a car and the all the other stuff. Yeah, yeah, I can cycle the whole island, and I do it with Mandy on the back of the bike. So yeah, we're like kind of awesome. And we weren't racing. We stopped wherever we wanted and whenever just to have food or coffee and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I might get a lot of exercise going around the island, but I also end up, enjoying Prada and you know, other kind of late snacky things. It always seems like it's the Indian food we end up stopping for early late night. Is that? I'm right, right? Yeah.
Oh, 24 hours.
Yeah. I know, right? Hey, Trisha made it. Hello, Trish. A fellow limb. Yeah, yeah. Despite my efforts to exercise on long bike rides and stuff, I always fall in the trap of like, oh, that makes me hungry. So then I eat more, have nice coffees and stuff while we're out. Actually, to be honest, I'm kind of thinking about an original vanilla. I don't know why, but just a cold coffee like drink just sounds really good right now. We happen to have the coffee bean and tea leaf like really close to the house too. It's like they must have like known like, okay, so where does Kevin live? Yeah, the closest place. Yeah, okay, right there. That's a good place for one. Actually, if you want to put that order in. Yeah, and I've noticed that that's kind of a thing that you've been doing a lot here lately. Except for, I don't know why, Trish, you always have such a serious face in your videos. So Trish does some interesting videos. She goes traveling around the island on a bicycle, but for whatever reason, like she just her intensity of concentration is so great that yeah, it's that's something. Yes, we have put a dent in that vanilla powder. Not crazy dent, but I probably had like 3 to 5 cups of it. I love that stuff. That stuff is amazing, but it feels so naughty. I like can't bring myself to doing it on the daily because it just feels like it's filled with calories. It might not be. I could be completely wrong, but it just feels fattening. And I get like, uh-oh, I'm scared. Anyway. So yeah, there really isn't a whole lot of this left to do. And then obviously I'll have to get ready on working the next couple projects. Oh, and as far as leftover string, there was enough to make 2 bracelets, so we'll see how that goes. Trish has a YouTube channel. She's also on TikTok. Does Google let you actually share links in the chat? I'm not sure how that works. Yeah. It's nice to have you here as well. I'm really glad that you stopped by. Yes, I have one of the 2 bracelets will be a tube for sure, and then I'll debate what I do with the other one. The strings I have with me to take away on the holiday are all rainbow in colors, and I think I'm pretty much going with the single density as opposed to doubling everything up like this is. So yeah, it'll kind of slow me down a bit and kind of make it fun and whatever. with any luck, it'll be so nice out that I'll spend more of the time at the beach and less time knotting, but we'll see. Sometimes it's just nice to do some knots just to, I don't know, alleviate stress. So despite not being here next week, their like videos and everything else will still continue on like normal, I think. Well, the plan is that there will be at least like a video on Friday or whatever, just a little say hey, drop in, say hey. But it depends on like the bandwidth and my ability to do editing on the fly. I don't know. We'll see. Wow, 2 weeks. Are you gonna do something else besides nodding, Helena? That's 2 weeks. That's a nice amount of time to yourself. Yeah, it's funny. Like even me, like I'm honestly, even if I'm just tying, you know, knots on a nice beach or whatever, it's just gonna be nice to be away from the house for a change. Do I say much in there? Oh, and so part of our trip is actually work related. So they sent us a whole itinerary of things that they want to show off. So instead of just getting to enjoy what is perhaps the most amazing room that I will have ever stayed in my life, they want to put us in a car and send us to all the local attractions, which we did this once before for my 49th birthday, I think it was. Yeah, right? 49th birthday. We did most of these things before, and it's exhausting, absolutely exhausting. So the idea that we're doing it again on somebody else's dime is sort of fun, but I really anticipate this whole next week is going to be just an exhausting one thing after another. And so what we did was we took a work thing and we extended. So some of the stay will be basically our choice of a place and everything. But yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome, Helena. Yeah, that chicken mayo was really good. Yep. You could try it on the other bread, just to make it interesting. And I can tell you the difference, which one's better. The multi-grained. Yeah, this is going to be an amazing trip. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like the whole thing is just going to be outstanding. We're going to Phuket. Well, the first part of the trip is just north. Phuket is an island. It's just north of Phuket for the first couple days, and then after that we're going down to Kara Beach, which is on Phuket. And I'm taking string with me, and I'm taking some art supplies. Yeah, the Karen Beach is we ended up there once from a very, very long walk, and it's so much quieter than Patong Beach. So it's been my dream to vacation down on that side, because that area is like less the party town, and so I think it's just going to help be a much more relaxing sort of stay than what it would be if we were over top of the big hill. Yep. We definitely have some essentials, but mind you, like, we tend to bring home more meds than we go with, because things like Panadol and things like that are so much cheaper in Thailand. So yeah, I'll get myself some fresh new inhalers, these little thingies, because yeah, Thailand has a cool variety. Oh, and I'm gonna have cashew chicken every day if I can help it. Oh, and then there's plans of getting tattoos, because typically every time we've gone to Thailand, we've gotten just a little bit more ink. So there's some excitement around that. Which airport? Because we're going to be going to the one that's just above Phuket. There's like a airport over there. We're not going to like Bangkok or whatever. Actually, there's a tattoo that I have in my mind. Probably won't get it this trip, but I am going to talk to my tattoo guy to see whether or not he thinks it's possible. I don't know if you guys remember the red and gray bag that I did. I used it to show off in several videos. It's got that the same pattern as on my clipboard. I want to have that going across part of my shoulder, kind of look like the skin is ripped off, and bracelet design underneath. So yeah, I want something like that. actually. Photos. Suddenly realized with having a phone nearby. So I want this pattern. Basically, maybe right around this area to look like it's like underneath the layer of my skin. And I'm not sure how well that can actually turn out if he can make it look like that, you know, faded and everything. If he can though, yeah, that is the goal. I'd like that. All right, Trish, take care. Trish, come back the weekend after next, and then you can hear all about their trip and all that kind of stuff. So. Okay, Google, what is the current temperature?
The current temperature there is 29 degrees. Due to the current humidity, it feels like it's 35.
Oh, it's got to feel like 35 right now. That would explain. My father-in-law is having trouble getting to sleep, and now I know why. "29 with a feels like 35. That's got to be some brutal humidity." I just thought of a clue as to when we were talking about the walking thing. So the street where I was walking down has train stations that have this great big arch like thing like this, and then like the actual building is sort of inside of these great big arches. They're if I'm not mistaken, like this part up here is like painted white. And then, you know, you got the little sign up here that says what the train stop is. But it looks, they look like this, and it's part of, if I'm not mistaken, it's part of the Circle Line that it was on. And it was, I was walking down that street heading towards Lavender. Where did I used to meet you when you were working for that one company? I kept go there with Kick Scooter. Got like weird shopping stuff all around the train area. Remember I was showing up with a Kick Scooter? Was that Tile? Yeah, I might have actually dropped in the Tile area. So I probably shouldn't have to remind everybody, but if you're having fun, you're here, make sure you hit that like button and give Google the impression that they should like show my videos to more people, because you'd be surprised how things like hitting the like button, yeah, that might have been it. Pile A bar. Well, no. Serangoon, that was it. That's one of the ones I think I passed. I think Serangoon is the one that has the archy things by the one entrances. Maybe. I'll have to go into Google Maps, because then I can, if I see the landmarks, I'll know for sure that was it. I know that when I got off the train though, at first I was like really all kinds of turned around and having to pull my map out and trying not to look like, you know, easy prey or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Yeah, I barely had any money on me, and I used what little bit of money I had to get something to drink, because I figured if, you know, instead of trying to get a taxi to drive me a few kilometers or whatever, I could get a lot further on my own as long as I had beverages and stuff. Yeah, it was rough. So what you guys can't see is off to the side, I have a hook like this that's being held up on a bit of Velcro. So it's sort of like held like this. And that's where all this string is going. So because I don't have to actually tie knots with these at the moment, setting them off to the side makes basically doing all the work a whole lot easier, because I only concentrating on just a small amount, you know. Yeah, it's sort of nice, but imagine like I can't at the time, because the phone was dying. trying to tell her like I'm gonna make it home. This is my problem. Blah blah blah. But then like partway through the night, the phone was completely useless, and I'm having to rely on trying to get back to where I stay via a paper map. Yeah, it was that was difficult. Like, you know, it didn't have a compass, didn't have, you know. Yeah. I remember I walked down one road a ways and realized there was no way I was getting across the freeway, so I had to go back to where I came from and go a different way to get across the freeway. So yeah, I was so upset for all the time I had wasted. Yeah, it wasn't even, it was really pretty early on. You get on the bike with me and we have no idea where we're going, and I never get us so lost that we can never get back. Like, I can go around the island and not get lost now. Why was it? How old is the circle line? Was it all fresh when I got here? So it's been open a couple years when I got. Yeah, I didn't think it seemed so new. I'm pretty stoked. This is. I mean, was not expecting to actually get all the way across here tonight. That's why I only did the one row instead of two, was that way I could get to where I could cut off the strings. But yeah, I'm actually really close to having this row done. Amazing. Wow. Was that the green line? Was that what it started with, the green line? Oh, really? Because in some ways, the green line seems like it's just, for whatever reason, just seems older. Definitely have to throw this in here just, a couple times. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for all that you guys are doing for me, keeping this channel going, keeping the website going. It's my website renewal is happening here in just a couple more days. So yeah. Always something. The drinks get here. Can you get them? Yeah, I'm really digging the whole color scheme altogether. Like, this whole thing is just so vibrant. And, yeah, I definitely love it. I think this is pretty cool. The next one's going to be a lot more tame. The next one is Thick Shades of Blue, going from a really, really dark, rich, like late evening kind of blue down to like a almost a light gray. Yeah. Like maybe the brown is like the logs that are burning or something, right? Or the charcoal itself. Right, and that's why it's gonna make such a cool contrast on the couch, having a screaming bright one and then one that's really mellow. So it should be fun. Three more diamonds. Yeah, I kind of can relate to the whole hand thing. Earlier today, when I started getting into doing the knots, at first my fingers felt really reluctant, just a little stiff and whatever. And it took a little while before I kind of got past that. Did some stretching, did some stuff. But yeah. Let's see if I can show more of the work. Oh, I forgot to give out the disclaimer that just because you see me working on knots for hours at a time, or at least a couple hours, I definitely suggest getting up, do some stretches. I am, after all, a trained professional, and sitting for prolonged hours can lead to things like backache, neck aches, stiffness. Yeah, in general, I don't recommend it. My sinuses are all kinds of blocked up for whatever reason. Oh, too bad Trish isn't still here. She might have known. You might know this one. I'm looking for the kind of mirror that you stick onto the back of your phone case to make it so that way you can use your good camera for doing selfies. Any chance you know where those things might be found? I think I'm going to try the camera shops at Plaza Sing, but just in case you knew a better place, I'm all ears. I used to work in an office and taking calls and stuff, but yeah, even back then though, I knew to stand up periodically, stretch a bit. Yeah. Something in season, I'm sure. Not so much a case. I want it's like a little circle that kind of goes off onto the side. Actually, I did a screenshot of a picture of one. Hang on. Gallery. Looks like that. This little mirror thing that you just basically stick on the back of the case. Yeah, I thought maybe Daiso. Like, that's, if all else fails, there's a Daiso at Plaza Sing. So yeah. I tried looking through Daiso's website, and I did not see anything. But it's hard to tell, because like all their pictures make everything look the same size. So it could either be like a huge mirror or an inch across, and you'd never know the difference because just the way that they shoot their product shots are just rubbish. Yeah, so the whole idea is you can kind of measure up where you're pointing your camera to use the good cameras for selfies and Wi-Fi's and stuff. Basically, I've come to realize I don't have a whole lot of pictures of me and Mandy together. I have pictures of Mandy, and she has some pictures of me, but it'd be nice to get pictures of us. So, plus, I pulled the gimbal out to be able to do some videos and stuff. It'd be nice to be able to use the gimbal to get pictures of both of us, to be able to see if we're in shot. Again, using the good camera. Here yet? Unbelievable. There used to be, that's funny you would mention that. I was talking to somebody who was familiar with Florida and stuff, and they don't remember it. They used to have this coolest thing. There was a giant mirror, and there was like a lot of like plants and flowers and stuff around, the base of it, kind of like keep you in a chain fence to keep you from going too close. And then there was a pillar, and you put your phone on the little pillar and get everything, all your family all lined up to use this mirror. And then behind you are these beautiful palm trees and flowers and just a gorgeous setting. And it was like the perfect place for taking a selfie. And it was long before anybody was even talking about selfies and stuff. This is like back when, like in the 70s and stuff. And my family and stuff, we had a number of pictures at this spot because it's just so gorgeous. And yeah, I was trying to tell somebody that they should do something like that down like the MBS and the Gardens by the Bay stuff. And nobody around here has ever even heard of anything even remotely like it. And it's like, yeah, but this was like, if they could do it in the 70s, I'm sure now we could come up with an even better way of pulling it off. But yeah. The crazy part was I was just past the halfway point earlier today. So like the amount of nodding that I've gotten done is pretty remarkable for a bit, and like doing it all in one day. If only I could be consistent like that. Like there's times where I have like a really good day and I look at it and I'm like, my gosh, I've accomplished so much. And other days it's like I can try so hard and I get, maybe half of this amount done. So yeah. Singapore is very Instagrammable. There's so much. You can get photos of things that are like super old right next to things that are super new. Temples, by skyscrapers and just all kinds of like crazy. Part of me was wishing I could not faster. I just can't wait to where this whole thing is completed. I can throw it in the washing machine. It's kind of warped out of shape at the moment. I don't know if you guys ever experienced this. You typically don't see it unless it's a pretty big project, but everything kind of tilt shifts to the right just a bit. So when you try to square it all up or whatever, it's always kind of leaning down to the right a little. And yeah, basically you run it through the wash, get it all wet and whatever. You can kind of tug and pull it, straighten things out. Well, comparatively speaking, would you say that my tying knots is as fast or faster than yours? Yeah, kind of a wet block is what needs to happen. Yes. See, now that I have minute craft like egging me on, I feel like I have to finish this up before I can call it quits. So like if I quit now, I think okay. But on a pattern like this, do you think you'd be as fast? Because this really is a simple pattern. This thing is about as close to mindless as I can probably do without like getting too bored of it. Yeah, see, that's where if I get in the right headspace and have the right stimuli, I can not for like, I don't know, at least a few hours straight, without getting up, without doing anything else. And it's, off to get a bathroom break, get something to drink, and then back at it again for, a couple hours at least. Yeah, that side glance is definitely like, I don't know. I can't think of too many things that terrify me more than my wife give me that look. Yeah, it's so weird. Last week, I honestly was afraid that I wouldn't get far enough done to be able to show off adding the string for the other part. And then next thing I know, by Monday, I not only finished the row that was adding string, but I was getting well into the row where which would be the last row where I added string. So I actually shot video, and then like even if you like watch that video, you'll see in there somewhere where I'm like, well, in case I don't get this processed by Friday, this was all happening on a Monday, da da da. And then still ended up somehow finding the time to get it, all done out and stuff that Monday, get it posted on Monday. Like, I have no concept how long anything should take me. Like, honestly. Why is it dogs are the man's best friend, but diamonds are the girl's best friend? I somehow feel cheated in this. Yeah. Well, the diamonds is a girl's best friend came from a movie. That's something kind of 50s or something. And yeah, I think there's a song for it too. All right, so this is it for tonight, and Put it on what? What's that? A recent movie? Tomorrow is Sunday. Yep. That was it. Knew it was from a movie. And see, when you said that, I thought you had like gotten the lyrics wrong for the "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" from Pink Floyd. So, yeah. You guys are into Rihanna, I'm into Pink Floyd, go figure. Just a sign of me being older, I guess. I'm so close to the edge now, like the hitting the microphone is becoming a thing. Hi, Sebastian. Hi there. I am working on essentially a super wide friendship bracelet pillow. You're just catching us right at the end of the our stream. It's 288 strands or 24 12-string bracelets. So yeah, kind of a lot of string here. Mind you, this is still a pretty small project compared to my last one, but that's, so my last one was that, which had 866 strings. So big, huge difference. But yeah, 288, if I'm not mistaken. It's each one of these little diamonds would be like a 12 string bracelet. So, and I double up my strings because basically this thing is 18 inches wide and needs to be 18 inches long. And when you double up your strings, it just makes adding or replacing the strings a little bit easier. If you go back and watch earlier in this video, you'll see where I cut off the backs where I replaced all the strings. If you go to last week's video, you can actually see where I was adding the strings, or, well, yeah, there's a video from this week too, like a regular video. But if you last week's stream, I was adding floss like crazy. That was insane. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that last one was, yeah. It's so funny because, like, at the time I'm like, yeah, I'll just call it the big project because it's a little bit ironic that something that's so huge, I'm only calling it big. But now I don't know what to call any of these other projects that I'm doing. So this is going to be, basically the idea is that giant project is something I want to have on the wall in my living room. And then I want on the couch to have a few pillows of different patterns or whatever, just, you know, little throw around pillow kind of things, just to show off. Yeah, so here, let's I'll break the camera free to show you. And then, wait, it goes up even higher. So yeah. So we're quickly getting it towards where it's 18 inches wide, and we're aiming for 18 inches, well, just past 18 inches long. So yeah, we're quickly getting there. So yeah, I'm gonna have a seamstress sew some denim to the back side of this, put a zipper and stuff on it, and then yeah. Definitely excited to see it finished, though. It's always the big thing, though. Like, get yourself excited about knowing that you're going to finish a project, because, especially when your projects get big, it's harder to keep yourself motivated and excited about these things. So, yeah. Oh, that's kind of neat. That's neat. From Argentina. That's awesome. So are we counting them down now? 6? Oh, is that what he's talking about? Okay. Oh, neat. Well, Saj, and I'm really glad you found me. I'm sorry that this is it's already past midnight here, and I'm definitely gonna go ahead and call it a night. But I will be back. No, I have not yet. I haven't. I will check that out. But I'm gonna wrap things up here tonight. Oh, do I usually? Yeah, you can send me messages on Instagram. That's fine. We can do that. Yeah. So I won't be here next Saturday. It'll be back the Saturday after, which is the 30th of July. So yeah, if you guys want to come back and hang out and check out the progress, I will be back then. Next week is a little holiday for me and the wife, so yeah, sorry I can't be around for it, but yeah. Before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters for everything you guys do to make this happen. I really, honestly could not do it without you. You can go and check out akaawol.com and see some of the stuff that I made, bags, bracelets, tutorials, my shop. Yeah, my shop definitely is one to help support the channel besides Patreon. And then yeah, I guess that's it for now. All right, well, I'll see you when I get back, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.